Hello everyone, Brian Johnson with thestockmentor.com, doing an intraday update for you. I'm not sure if it'll get used, to be quite honest. I'm not sure what Tim has in the queue, but I thought I'd do a quick one just so he has more material while he's on vacation. Alright guys, pretty sure the markets are up again today. This is what happens in these wave threes. You just don't know where they're going to end. If you can catch a wave three, you stay with it. You don't decide what's up too far or down too far, or I think this looks like it might turn around here. I mean, trying to call an end to wave threes is just suicide. So you run your stops up. Just keep moving your stops up or just keep moving your stops down, but you always want to make sure you're in the same direction as what they're going, because if you're trying to call the opposite direction, it's while you can make educated guesses, it's very difficult to really call exactly where it's going to stop. So, like I said, I go back to my technical analysis. First and foremost, only use Elliot wave as confirmation, never indication. And where are we at right now? This looks pretty clear. This thing just keeps extending. We had moves, our entries above 12,200, above 12,300. We had that little pullback yesterday, and I mentioned this looks like it might have a little bit more upside to go based on what we were seeing at the very end of yesterday. We got that today. And moving up and into potentially these overhead areas. Will we make this 12,575? I don't know. We got about 40 points to go yet. We're certainly sniffing the overhead resistance right here, but this would be my definitely one of my targets. We get up into this area, and I've got some contracts on the ES futures and some anyway, I've got longs all over the place and a lot in some of the indices on the Russells as well. But point being, these are the levels up in here that I'm going to be watching very, very closely. We are almost there on the Dow. This was one of my overhead targets for you guys to be watching for yourself, around that 12,575 to 12,600. Watch that very closely. Coming into kind of the middle of the day. We'll see what we get in the afternoon. NDX 60 minute, this one's already up to some overhead resistance as it stops right here at 2350. You can see my line that I've got going way back to, I'm not sure how far back that goes, but anyway, proving to be of great use to me right now as we get back up into the 2350. I really like the 2360 area, as you can see, from about 23, let's call it 2370 to 2375. There's this overhead bar right here. Just as we saw on the Dow, that's where I'll be looking to see if we can get to. That's quite a ways to go here before the end of the day, so maybe a rest in through this area and into the next hour or so. Watch for things to start to kind of slow down as we head into the afternoon. Here were these breaks of these 50-day moving averages, and I can't tell you how important that was to the bulls. Breaking, and not only breaking these 50 days, but holding these 50 days. And I mentioned they didn't stop at the 50 days. They blew right through, and then they came back to retest the 50 days, where then they popped a little bit at the end of the day to close above them. And you can see today, look, on the move from the beginning of the day, what did they do? They came back to retest the 50-day. And whatever bears might have been there said, yeah, whatever. And they maybe bears covered here, and the bulls came in, and away we go. 2320 is the 50-day moving average. 2320 was what we hit today for a low. So you can see how well and how nicely that worked from the bull standpoint. To get up over, and not only get above, but close above. Very important. Into the rest of the afternoon, I would expect that maybe we start to slow down a little bit here. We've got the first couple hours of a Friday out of the way, and I'm a big guy on Fridays tend to start, kind of fast and furious for the first couple hours, and everybody goes, okay, well that's about all I need to do today, and then they screw around or they go home or something. So I don't expect to see a whole lot the rest of the day. This afternoon, maybe a little bit of movement coming into the rest. Remember, 3-day weekend. I just believe that there's going to be some bulls that are going to look at this big push up and they're going to go, yeah, okay, that's good. I'm going to wait till Tuesday to re-enter. And I would not be surprised at all to see some selling coming in this afternoon as people take profits on what they made for the entire week and call it good. Rest, have a good time over the 4th, and then come back Tuesday and try again. You can always re-enter your positions. Remember that. You don't have to hold over the weekends. You can re-enter, even though you might miss a point here or there. It's not a big deal. The 20-week moving average was something I mentioned yesterday. My gut told me that, man, I just really thought we'd close somewhere in or around this area. We'd had such a hard push up. And we might still get that. We could still see that selling, get this thing back down into that area, but that's a long ways. That's a 28-point drop. We could certainly We could certainly handle it and not break anything from a bull side because of the push we've had all week long. But I didn't expect it to get quite this far away from some of these 20-week moving averages. So even if the selling comes in this afternoon, I'm not sure we'll make it back to here. It's just been a really, really strong push by the bulls. One caveat, though, the internals have not really helped the bulls this week. I just haven't seen a lot of good, strong confirmation on this push to the upside by the bulls. So, yes, it's been a good run. But whether it was really a strong run, I don't know if I'm actually at this point ready to go out and say that, yes, it was a really strong run. The internals just have not confirmed that for me. SPX 60 minute up and over. Look, I mentioned we broke this area here, and then we came back to retest it. That's strong for the bulls. That's a good move for the bulls to get up and over these areas, then come back and retest them. Today we launch again, pushing our way upwards. I've been trailing this thing since whatever, but I'm just moving my stops up. That's all I'm doing, guys. I'm not trying to predict the top, not trying to call one way or the other. I'm just moving my stops up and letting this thing go. Yesterday I had it right below the 50-day moving average. I didn't want to be long if we got back below that 50-day today, and I'm still in the trade. So we'll let this thing run for a while. I love this 1345-ish area as my overhead target. Doesn't have to be in this one run. We could see now pull back, then a hit of that. That would make sense. But let's just count it out here. 1, 2, this looks like a strong 3 wave. 3 could end here. We could have this 3, 4, 5 could end here. Anyway, I do expect some good, strong overhead resistance when and if we get to this line over here. One other thing to add, is this the 3 wave of a new 5 wave up that's going to take us over and above 1370? Is this some sort of a 3 wave of C, which is going to end up here someplace, and then we're going to see the continuation of the bear? I really don't care. That's not how I use Elliot wave. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is it's a 3 wave of a C, it's a 3 wave of a new wave 5 up. I don't care. I've got the direction. I just want to know it's a move up. That's all I care about. So where we are in the count makes no difference to me. I just want to be on the right side of the trade, and a 3 of a C or a 3 of a 3 or whatever it might be doesn't make any difference to me. Listen to me rap, man. Check me out. I got to get my parachute pants on and go back old school, hitting the 80s. Anyway, doesn't matter. I just want the direction right. And so far, this looks pretty clean right here. So whether this is an ABC and it's just extending, I don't care. Even if it is a C, I want you guys to mention or notice that this could have been A, this could be B of that, and then we could be into 1, 2, 3 of C. I still think there's a 4, then a 5 left to come of this. That's the best I can make of it. Sure looks clean to me from that standpoint. VIX way down. Okay, yesterday, yeah, it kind of dropped, kind of down. Now today it's down. I mean, it's down. Premiums are pouring out of the market right here on the option side of things. Nobody's worried about jack nothing. Look at this huge red candle. We're back into this 15 area. Now let me tell you that this is about as low as this thing tends to get. Look, you go back in time and this 14, 15 area ends up being usually, in most cases, and I don't think this is going to be an exception, good times, good opportunities to start looking at option trades. I don't care whether you buy calls or puts or however you play it, but this is when premiums tend to get pretty low, and they don't move too much from this. If you can get this thing down to 14, I'm a buyer of options. I'm all over that. That's usually when you're getting really good pricing on options, is when it gets down into the 14, 15 range. And you can go back a ways and just kind of see that for yourself. Let me just do a quick update here and see if I can go back 3 years and show you. Yeah, see, look, I mean, it's all hanging out. Look at how many times we've come back to visit this 15-ish area. Yeah, this is a good time, guys. If you like options, if you like to trade options, this is a decent time to start looking at some option purchases. Now, you don't have to buy them and hold them over the 3-day weekend unless you're somebody that likes to buy out 6, 8, 9 months, whatever. That's great. Have at it. But this is not a bad time to start getting into them. This is pretty good pricing down here for options when the VIX gets that low. FAS was a long up and over 26. As you can see, the financials roaring back today after kind of a flat day yesterday, but setting up so perfect. What a cherry trade up and over this 26 today. Got you back into some higher levels. I'm not recommending you get out. I'm just telling you, for me, I'd be moving my stops up. Make sure whatever happens, do not lose money on this trade. Period. You're in it too far. You're getting good. This is good. You're 70, 60, 50 cents into this thing. Make some money. move your stops up. Be happy with that. All right, so above 26, and where are we coming back into? Yep, the 50 and the 200. One of these was my price targets. So if you took some profits here at the 50, good for you. That's great. If you're going to hold out and see if this thing can't make it up here, good for you. That's great. If this thing continues to rise, I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm just going to let this thing go until the very end of the day. If it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, I won't get out until like the last minute or 30 seconds of the day. Then I'll just exit, call it good, and be happy with my trade up and over 26. But I am not holding over a 3-day weekend. Not this, not FAS and FAZ. That's not something I'm interested in. This was my day trade here for the day. That means FAZ got below our 44.15 and 44 entries that I gave you yesterday. If you took those, excellent trade. Make sure you move your stops down. You're over $1 into this thing. That's a great trade. Big red candle. I told you the break of this line right here was nicht sehr gut for the bulls. In this case, it held right here at the 50, and then today we get the continuation. So the continuation doji plays itself out. Next lower level, 42, 42.50. Somewhere down in this area. Be watching for that. Once again, I just moved my stops down, and if this thing continues to just fall into the end of the day, get out with about 30 seconds to a minute left in the day. Call it good. Would not hold over a 3-day weekend. If you come back on Tuesday and we're down another $2, you can curse me all you want, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So that's how I play the game. Anyway, excellent entry here. Just another cherry entry. Okay, that'll do it for this. One other thing to note, we did get one other break on one other stock, and that was Morn. It would be, as of today, July Morn, not September Morn. If you're old like me, you're already singing the song in your head. But above 61 was the push. We got a very nice entry on this as well. So I have a day trade on FAS and a day trade on MORN. This is not one I will be holding over the weekend, but 1.8% push in one day. If you can catch any part of that is pretty good. I do not mind a 1.5% return on my money in one day. Yeah, I'll take it, considering that the market as a whole doesn't typically do that in a month. So very good trade here as well. Hope you guys have been watching. Hope you've been playing along. Hope you've been enjoying the videos. So much for keeping this to 6 minutes like I tried to do, but I blabber. I will be back with you later. I hope Tim gets this out to you guys, and I'll do another after-market update for all of you on this happy Friday before July 4th. See you then. Bye.